Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Alia. My name is Leslie Garves, and in this video I would like to talk about the continuation of the other video about gaslighting. And pretty much gaslighting has to do with lies and with shame. In other words, the narcissistic personality disorder person would like to is selling you most of the times through critics, from your person. It could be from your body parts or something, or it can be from your work, or it can be from your marriage, or it can be from your family. It depends, because it has a purpose. It's not criticizing for nothing. So it's very interesting and it's very clarifying. And in the other video I showed the books that I read, and they're fantastic because they are very easy to read, and like you can, along the years or along the time, you can follow up with them. And so it has a lot to do with critics, with yourself, or about yourself, or about your family, or about your surroundings. It depends, like we were saying. And this has a purpose, and the purpose is to bring you down to submission so that you can allow this other person that is gaslighting you, then he practically wins, so to say, and then you allow them to do with you, or with your time, or with your job, or with whatever their goal was. So you give them like green light to pursue, and in other words, he brought you to submission, so to say. So it has a lot to do with shame, and it's so interesting because when you shame someone, then it comes a moment in which this person cannot fight anymore, or cannot, you know what I mean? In other words, shame shame wins, and then you cannot, you have the feeling that you cannot fight anymore, that there is no hope for you, and so on. It's really, this technique is really, oh my God, insidious. And that's why it's so important to to see the different angles, or to see the different points of views, because in that way you understand that there is always a purpose. It's, this person don't want you around, or this person needs to put you to shame through lies, so that you go out, so that you leave your job, or so that you don't trust your family, so that he can put you aside alone, so that he can abuse you further by yourself, because you already don't have your security system, or your family, or whoever you trust. In other words, they put lies about the trust that you should have in this or that person. And basically, we have number one, abuse eraser, which is one of the types of gaslighting. I mean, when somebody gaslights you, they can use different, in the book there were 4 like different parts of the gaslighting. Number one is abuse eraser, for example. Number 2, contradictory words or actions. Incongruence, you see, because this is based on lies. Number 3, victim destabilization technique. That's already when you are maybe internalizing already the lies, or you are just tired because all these lies and all these it is with purpose. You know what I mean? It is a technique that which has a goal. And so, and number four, we have reality denial, persistency, which can be divided into truth bending technique. We talked about that already in the other video. Or victim reality memory challenge or denial, challenging or denial. Again, you might think, oh my God, but why would somebody like to do something like that? Yeah, because they have a purpose. I'll give you some examples. Maybe you can understand it better that way. For example, about abuse eraser. I was renting an office. This guy, he entered the office. I was inside. He was not supposed to do that. So he created, you see, gaslighting. Now he has to hide the fact that he's doing something wrong in my office. So basically he started, speaking loud, shouting and this and that. Oh, you have all this stuff in the other office, blah, 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 which was a little tiny thing that, came out of nowhere. He needs to find something, truth or lie. In this case, was truth, was something true. But okay, that's truth bending. You see, he's trying to bend the fact that he came inside the office, right? So abuse eraser came because it was a complete system of narcissistic personality disorder people. And I explained in the other video that there is a difference when you are, confronting, or when you are just dealing with one person, narcissistic personality disorder, or when you are in a system where they have their monkeys, flying monkeys. In other words, they have these other people who also help them consciously or unconsciously. Next day, out of nowhere, this lady who also works with them, she came to erase the abuse because they know that that's not right. Maybe he came, he explained, he was scared, whatever, because he was a young guy anyways. And she's like, well, you know what? Let's put that behind and let's start from zero. At the end of the conversation, she was, giving me different topics. Oh my God, you like jogging by the beach, or you like this, or you like that, you see. But she came with a purpose, and it was to erase what he did. And I told her, the only thing I told her, you know what, I don't take abuse so easy, and that's the only thing I said, which is good because with these people, you better find your escape without getting too dirty with the situations, for the only reason that they're used to this pit. You know what I mean? To this dirty gossip, dirty this, dirty that. And I, at the beginning, in other words, you think that you can solve things as you would solve them with somebody more normal, but they're not normal, and they're you know what I mean? And that's where you start realizing more and more where you are, where you are, or what the kind of people that you're dealing with. Let's not forget that these people have hardwired in their brain this type of reacting to other humans. So the best thing is to simply disconnect from them, zero contact, like the doctors say, the psychologists and stuff. Another example that comes in my mind has to do, that was, let's put it that way, that was criticism towards a little something in the work field, right? Like where I work. But for example, this shaming, this toxic, and it was shaming obviously because you feel, he made a big deal out of, because I put some old things in a closet there, or no, in a room that they were not even using. So when I called the office, they even said, "Oh, no problem, you don't have to pay for that, blah, blah, blah." You see, he is creating all this theater, all this drama out of nowhere because he wants to hide the fact that he entered my office without permission and I was inside there and he didn't know it. For example, maybe he was not necessarily, I don't know, but the thing is that, when you're with abusers, they don't only do one thing. They're not only liars, but they're liars. They are liars and they're cheaters. But if they're cheaters, then they're also betrayals. And if they're this and they're that. And you don't know it from the first impression. You think the people are just nice and normal, right? For example, criticism from your body or shaming, body shaming, right? I have many of those because obviously sometimes we don't want to talk about, you know what I mean, like we want, in some cultures we try to be, let's put it that way, humble, and we want to think that we don't have what we have, which is a big mistake. And for example, there was a lady and I was taking care of her child, and she was a drug addict. She has no teeth, and she was really deep into that. Her grandpa used to, her grandfather, no, her father, and the grandfather from the little son, he was 8 years old or something. They trusted me a lot because for whatever reason, they found me nice or something. And the boy, he really attached to me. He would come and play 2 hours, maybe not 3, but 2 hours when he came to visit his grandfather because I was renting a room there. However, to my surprise, the mother got an issue with that. She felt jealous, she felt envious, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, then she started to shame me. Oh no, one, pardon, sorry. Another person that lived there who happened to be a gentleman, he used to date her sometimes, this and that. But, in my head, normally we're all friends, let's put it that way, right? Like the fact that I speak with someone, even especially if I know that he's dating you or something, doesn't necessarily mean that I have any interest. However, like abusers do what they do best, which is abuse. So she started trying to demean me, trying to shame me through my body. But because she has issues with her body, you see, it's so interesting because it has so much basis. It has so much base, and it makes so much sense, right? So she said, well, she must be a man because she has very big hands. And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at my hands like, okay. And her boyfriend used to, not to be with me, but, we used to go out somewhere or used to, to go cycling sometimes. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that I have any type of interest with him in the romantic field or anything like that. But again, sometimes when you are very magnetic or when you don't even know it. I mean, I thought, that was just a normal way to, when you meet new people and try to socialize with them, blah, 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 right? But this lady obviously had something else in mind. And that's where abusers show us the real faces. So she said oh no, she must be a man, she has big hands, right? And then one day, even to kind of prove me, she said, do you have needles and thread? Women normally have that. And I happen to had some needle and some thread and blah, blah, blah. You see, she's trying to put ideas in my head that I am less than a girl, less than a woman, or less than her, because she is obviously jealous of the fact that her son likes me so much. I mean, we play together because I am very sporty, And like we would play, and sometimes I would go roller skating with him and he would go with the bike, blah blah, you know what I mean. Again, that was a hyperactive child, and normally they should even pay me for that, and I am not even charging because I'm doing my sport anyways. And if he would like to go and we ask for permission and he wants, no problem. Okay, so you see, she's shaming my body, shaming my hands, she's shaming, what else did she say? In other words, she's a better woman than me, and she's better. You have no idea how it happens a lot with other women, with women among each other. And I used to be a dancer, and you have no idea how many stories women can invent to, out of jealousy, to make the other women lower their vibration so that they can, you know, fall into submission, let's put it that way, or this person dismiss. In other words, this person just want to go, or because that's what they want, that you, they don't want you there because they're jealous, because you really, they feel that you are taking things that are theirs, which is a lie too, because I mean, normally in our cultures, again, this person was from Germany, which is a different culture. Now I understand that a little bit better, but in our cultures, when there comes another woman and she wants to help you with your child, you're happy and you say thank you, and you know what I mean? Like, because children need different types of love and different types of friends, and especially girls, are quite nice with children. So, but obviously not for her. That's a gaslighter. She didn't cause me any real trauma because I could, in Germany, you can see right away, Germans, especially in the North Germany, the Germans are transparent. They don't really know how to play this so much. Where, for example, here in Scotland, or here in, yeah, well, I live in Scotland, but maybe in UK is the same. It is different. People are more refined with hidden abuse. You know what I mean? With undercover abuse. So, um, another example of that comes to my mind about contradictory words or actions. This is very important, and it happened here. It's undercover abuse. It's undercover gaslighting. It's not so open as the example that I just gave before. And then this guy, he was telling me about a movie called The Birds, and this movie is a little bit like scary or something. And I felt, because when you're healing and you're cleaning your mind every day, and when you're doing all the protocol that the doctors or the psychologists tell you, or the coaches tell you to do, then you're clean. And then out of nowhere, then you have like these seeds of fear in your mind. And so when I wanted to confront him a little bit, not confront him, but I told him, well, you told me about this movie, this and that. And then he has the feeling that I am going to kind of confront him, and then he changes. He tells me, well, you know what, no, I didn't tell you that, and this and that. To my surprise, because it was not even, in other words, let's not forget that abusers have also been abused. They have been abused themselves, so they're very sensitive too, and they're, especially gaslighters have, like these truth bending abilities, right? And so I realized it right away. Wait a second, but he's trying to bend the fact that I know that he tried to put some fears in my seat of fears in my head. Or sometimes they call it fear campaign. So you see, it's crystal clear. When you have this type of list, you see, it's very easy to identify. So his contradictory words and actions, incongruence, made me obviously notice that he was trying to play games with my mind, which are very dangerous because this creates a lot of cortisol and confusion and mental blurring and mental fogs and a lot of consequences after being a long time or along the time with this type of people. So I simply said, call it quits, and I disconnected from this person. Um, like we said, truth bending, reality memory challenge. For example, with memory, I have had other people who, for example, they have been only one time. I've seen this person only one time. And when I see them again, they tell you, yeah, I've been here already 2, 3 times. And I'm like, oh, wait. No, I've been talking with this person 2, 3 times, maybe on the phone or something. And let's not forget that sometimes, which is very interesting to know too, and I wrote that in one of the books, gaslighters sometimes they know what they're doing, but sometimes they're already so used to lie and to gaslight that it comes automatically. They're lying, they're changing things, and they're changing reality, they're changing facts, and they're changing situations. And the consequences of gaslighting is obviously the very, I've seen people, especially here in UK, with dementia. My ex-landlord, he suffered from dementia, and it was like a labyrinth to work. I mean, to talk with him, it was a little bit like, oh, he forgot. And sometimes he would even do things that you might think that were abusive, but in reality, it was like, like, um, it was like his own mind already trying to cover, but cover what, you see? Another extreme of gaslighting was already physical abuse towards my person, and it was a lady like I said, I used to dance before, and this lady was from China or from Thailand or China, and they have these little eyes, and then later on somebody told me that they even, I mean, some women, I mean, I like those eyes, they're so pretty, like this, like almondish eyes, but everybody's different. But she tried to put her nail in one of my eyes, in the left eye here. Yeah, she tried to put her nails because out of jealousy, because they think that Latin women, or like European women or whatever, they have these bigger eyes, and like I have like I have like big eyes or something. Whatever she found, you see. And then she decided to go with physical abuse already. But it was already boiling there a little bit, kind of like situations where they kind of try to show you that you don't belong there, that they don't want you there, and. So it is interesting to see that behind everything, behind this technique, there is always a goal, and the goal in that case with this last lady was because she simply didn't want me there to work there with them. That's already criticism in work, but it can also be physical part of yourself. Like I said, with my hands, somebody said, oh my god, you have big hands, blah blah blah. But it was to distract the fact that her child was already feeling attached to me. In other words, we were playing, and I could, I was a little bit already like his nanny, and it's normal that children like you if you are nice with them, right? And the other example that I gave was the one in the office that I was renting, and this guy trespassed the door, and he tried to create, like, you know make believe that I did something wrong, so that in that way he could cover what he did, because it had nothing to do with what I was doing, which was not right either, which was saving some stuff in a room that they didn't use or anything, but nobody gave me permission. Okay, that's also, you can discuss that too, and I apologize and everything, but the strange thing is that why does he react so exaggerated? Because he knows he did something really bad. I mean, you cannot trespass the office of someone without knocking, without any permission, without anything. So there's always, you see, they're always trying to hide something or trying to win something through shaming you. Because when somebody shames your hands, or when somebody shames your looks, or when somebody shames your body, criticism, you see, they also use criticism. Then of course, in other words, they're not caring the fact that they're making you feel so bad and so ashamed to get their goal, which is to simply get your job, for example, or get your place, or that your child, in the case with the lady, that your child goes back only to you, and he doesn't have any other friends or any, and needless to say, like, I mean, these people make no sense at all, but that's another video. we can discuss that in another video, but pretty much you can see that they don't care to shame you, to shame your job, or to shame your efforts in order to get something particular. They have a goal with it. So gaslighting doesn't come out of nowhere. And for example, with jealous women, because I have like I have like my own, maybe probably 30 women along my years, in my what the doctor Iñaki calls the horror catalog, which is where you write all the things that these abusers do to you along the years. And it could be with other dancers, when I used to dance more. Now I dance, but not so much like before, not professionally, you know what I mean, like. So these people, for example, I had a lot of women calling me any kind of things, anything but beautiful, you know what I mean. It could be with your hands, or it could be with the way you walk, or it could be that you have a disease, could be also, to put people down, or I mean, anything goes, you know what I mean. Like, the important thing is to gaslight, to present you anything but beautiful, everything less than human, even better, or anything. Because at the end, when you shame someone, or when you make them feel so bad, then what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna say, well, you know what, I'm not gonna work here anymore. That's what they want, right? And again, when I went like 25 ladies, and all of them could have a reason to be jealous of me, right? Or to be envious of something that I have. For example, the last lady that I said, she had no teeth, and I have like a nice, people tell me, I don't want to brag or anything, but people tell me that I have a nice smile, that I am, very presentable, person. Or there was another one who was really old, and then I came new, and then she felt probably threatened that I might take her job, or or that I would take all the attention. So this has to do a lot to do with body shaming, so that you leave the job, so that you leave the place, so that they can feel again, regain their own sense of self-validation, maybe, or and that's why many times better not to attach so much to new jobs or new situations, because you don't know who's there waiting for you to give you the chop, to give you the thrill. And pretty much that's what I wanted to mention about gaslighting. Gaslighting You know, the consequences can be mental confusion at the beginning, then it can be a roller coaster of emotions, it can be a cocktail, emotional cocktail, it can be confusion, and it can lead you, as I mentioned before, even to, in the long run, to dementia. So, my name is Leslie Garbs, and I hope you enjoyed this video. God bless you. Allah, Allah Bye bye. Thanks.